Uh, Tim, you've been all over the state. You've covered, well, my goodness, I don't know how many. I suppose 100,000 miles plus. You've been everywhere. So talk to us just take a few moments and talk to us from your heart. But the question I'm going to ask is similar to theirs. They're not registering in the polls at all. You're registering up at the 10% mark, up against a governor that's at 40-some%. So the amount of decline is still pretty huge. That's a month ago polling. I don't know what the most recent one is. That's a month old. So you may want to correct that if I'm off on it. So tell us, how do you go with this? The fundraising. Our three brothers and the sister who were up here, I disagree with them strongly that they can go without money and without name ID. That's not square. I've been involved in politics since I was age 9. That doesn't square with reality, in my opinion. But you also face the challenge of raising millions of dollars in a tough battle. And I think it's the toughest state of all 50 states for what you're doing. I admire your courage for doing it. So talk to us right now.
Well, thank you, Pastor, and thank all of you for being here this morning. I am Tim Donnelly. I'm currently in the California State Assembly. I came to this state with $300 in my pocket when I was 19. And I was living the California dream until the government came along and interfered with it. You know, now everybody knows the government's become the greatest threat to our future. It's become the greatest threat to almost everyone, to our children in terms of education, to our economy, and even to our faith. If you believe in Jesus Christ, which I do, and I'm a born-again Christian, and I'm not ashamed to say that, then your values are under assault constantly. And I got to tell you, I was elected in 2010, literally by one vote per precinct, and it was a miracle. And when they asked me how I had done it at the primary, I said, the credit is the Lord's. And what we are doing right now is we're traveling the state of California. I have raised over $700,000 off business cards. That means people I've met over 55,000 people in person. And we still haven't yet spent a single penny on advertising. And I am no longer at 10% in the polls. I'm now at 17% in the polls. I can serve
Remarkable.
So
You are in an open primary without being Republican versus Democrat. Are you in the number 2 slot behind Governor Brown?
yeah, the way it works in this new era of Prop 14 with the open primary is the top 2 advance and everybody else goes home. And I have one other very well-funded opponent who actually was at 2% in the poll you indicated a month ago, and he's still at 2%. And that's in spite of a month's worth of free media and advertising. So there's something in the air right now. There's a real opportunity. And you know, I think the church is going to play a huge role in that. And it's going to be issues having to do with AB 1266. We are uniting people of faith across party lines, across every line, in every demographic, because I think a lot of people have sat in the pews and said, hey, I'm going to stay out of politics, but now they can't, because it's come to the door of their homes, come to the door of their businesses, come to the door of their child's education in their school, and you can't just sit idly by and allow that to happen. And so I think we have a terrific opportunity this year. And look, we all know the statistics. If we could double the turnout at the church, right now it's somewhere around 25, 26%. 50% are registered and half of that actually vote. If we could double that, we could actually win an election. And so it is critical and it's incumbent, and that's why I came here today, because I want to network with anybody that would like to talk to me or have me come speak to their church or meet people, because we're going to do this on the ground. We're not going to have anywhere near the money, but I believe that ultimately, if I can raise 10% of what Jerry Brown raises, I can run a competitive race in the state of California, because I don't need to waste my money on television when we could do things a different way.
Thank you, Tim, I appreciate it. The office you were in that you referenced was what office again?
I'm currently in the California State Assembly, so I am one of the 80 assemblymen who is currently elected. I represent about 500,000 people, largely in San Bernardino County. I was first elected in 2010 when I represented a district that was split between San Bernardino and Los Angeles County.
Chris Clark indicates he has a question. You want to
Yes,
ask?
just a question. One thing that I understand kind of concerns me. You made a comment not too long ago that government ought to get out of the marriage business. Can you clarify that and explain, if you were elected governor, how or would you enforce Article 1, Section 7.5 of the Constitution?
It's very simple. I have read the U.S. Constitution, and marriage is not mentioned anywhere in it, period. And I think that the church, I personally believe that marriage is between one man and one woman. It is a sacred covenant that is ordained by God. And I don't believe the government should be involved in it at all. And what they do, the government uses it to control us. They use healthcare policy, they use tax policy. Heck, when years ago they would have prevented me from marrying my wife because she's of another race. So the idea of inviting the government to be more involved and have more control over our life, when government has become the greatest threat to our future and to our existence and to our pursuit of happiness here in this country. I am not in favor of using the government to get more deeply involved in marriage, because the byproduct is exactly what we heard discussed this morning, which is then the government goes even further and forces free citizens to enter into business contracts that are compelled. And they are gaining and gaining and gaining this footprint of control over us. And you know, I consider it bondage. They are oppressing us by regulation. And we need to throw off that oppression, and we need to unite under a banner of liberty. Bottom line. And you know what? I'm one of 14 children. We start out as Irish Catholics with no TV. And I am absolutely pro-life, unequivocal. I believe life begins at conception. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not smart enough to figure out anything more complicated than that. And I'll tell you what. Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure and a delight. I look forward to meeting you.
Just for the record, I'm sorry, for the record, just so you're aware, we'll let you slip on back. I just jotted down some things this morning that we care way more about than just abortion and marriage. We're full scope people. Abortion, marriage, debt, unfunded liabilities, First Amendment rights, Second Amendment rights, Israel, support of Israel, immigration, national defense, welfare, size and reach of government, education, Common Core, who does the child belong to, the state or the family, these kind of questions, quite a wide range of families. Those are just some I jotted down just a few moments ago. So we care about way more than just one or two issues. These are a whole system of issues. I'm going to have to be the bad guy to run us faster. My fault for sure for allowing us to lag behind. Lieutenant Governor positions, would you come up? These are statewide races. So would you come up? I believe we have Amos, Eric, and Ron here. And I'll give you a microphone, and it's going to be, unfortunately, very brief. No one's going to like me from this point on. I did promise Ron, I did advise our other candidates a little bit of time, but so we'll start, Eric, with you. Any other Lieutenant Governor, gubernatorial candidates here? Lieutenant Governor. Okay, we had some others listed. Go ahead, Eric. Where are you from?
I'm from La Jolla.
Okay.
Eric Corver. I'm a businessman, a scientist. I have 2 children in La Jolla Elementary School, who I'm very proud of. I consider myself to be a moderate Democrat. This is very educational for me, and I like to hear different viewpoints, but you're probably not going to be in agreement with me, even if I think I'm moderate. I am in favor of a woman's right to choose, and I support marriage equality, as those were questions you were asking about. I do feel like our taxes are high enough, and I don't think the government needs to spend any more in California, and I would do everything I could to maintain balanced budgets, even as the scheduled temporary taxes decline. I think we need to be putting away money now so that we can maintain balanced budgets in the future without raising taxes. But I imagine on other issues, I'm not probably 100% in agreement with the
here, Ron Nearing.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ron Nearing. I live about 15 minutes away up here in Crest. I think I'm the first candidate for Lieutenant Governor of California from Crest. That could be the case. There's another Crest person right here. Wonderful. I served for 6 years as the chairman of the Republican Party of San Diego County. I served for 4 years as the California Republican Party chairman. I am a conservative Republican with a capital C. That means I support lower taxes, limited government. I believe marriage is between one man and one woman. I'm pro-life, I'm pro-Second Amendment, and go on, right on down the line, and I'm proud of it. I think that our ideas at the center of our party create prosperity around the world wherever they are put into action. But our ideas need champions. They do not advocate for themselves. We need candidates, elected officials who will stand up and fight for those principles and make the case as to why they generate prosperity and why they are better for people. I do not believe in preemptive surrender. I know that running for lieutenant governor is an uphill fight. Gavin Newsom is my opponent. Eric, with all due respect, where are you?
It's a fight for a second.
That's right, exactly. But our opponent is Gavin Newsom, and we know where Gavin Newsom stands on all the issues that I talked about today. I've only been given 30 seconds. I'll take a little bit more. Let me finish up at this point, and that is that it's an uphill fight. Of course it's an uphill fight. It was an uphill fight when this country was founded. It was an uphill fight every time a Republican runs statewide in California. It's an uphill fight. But you know what? We've been a Democratic state since 1934, and yet we have won 5 of the last 8 governor elections in the Republican Party. And I think that this is something worth fighting for. I think 2014 is going to be a great year for our party, and I want to thank the 3 people in Washington most responsible for that. Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi, and Harry Reid are doing a great job making this a great year for the Republican Party. I believe that our candidates have to be about principles. You know what they are. If you want to contact me directly, you're welcome to call me or email me directly. My email is ron@ronnearing.com. I'm here local in the community. I'd be happy to meet with you at any time, and thank you very much for your consideration.
I'm going to take a moment to talk to pastors and Christian leaders. Many of you lead various organizations and various groups. I want you to be aware of a couple of different things. Number one, on October the 5th, we're asking every pastor to preach regarding an election sermon. October the 5th, Pulpit Freedom Sunday. You can go to pulpitfreedom.org, pastors, and sign up. There'll be several thousands of pastors across America doing it that particular week. This is sponsored by Alliance Defending Freedom, a group of 2,200 Christian attorneys. We're not telling any pastor what to say. That's up to him as he seeks out what the Word of God speaks to his heart. But October the 5th, we want to, with solidarity, speak to this issue to prepare the hearts of people for biblical truth. October 5, Pulpit Freedom Sunday. Secondly, we want to encourage you to participate in what's called Project 75. You can go to project75.org. I believe we have, yes, there it is on the screen right now. Project 75 is the challenge to get pastors, to get their congregations to vote vertically, vote biblically for righteous causes. We're encouraging pastors to commit to raise up 75% of their congregation to be registered and voting. If a pastor wants to, he can send his database to United in Purpose. We can tell you where to send it, and they'll do in a nanosecond, it does analysis. This is all your congregants voting. The fact they vote or register is public record. They can do an analysis and shoot back to you a pie chart that shows you what percentage of your people are registered and voting, and provide that to you. Most pastors naively believe that all their congregants are registered and voting. We've tested this with 38 churches, congregants who we would have thought would have been, and it is joltingly small. It's shockingly small. And so an honest pastor that wants of you, he can shoot his database in, and he knows exactly what percentage, a pie chart comes back showing what percentage are registered, what percent are voting. We're focusing and targeting 16 states, key senatorial states. The dream is to raise up 15,000 churches in those 10 states who will increase the number of people going to the polls to vote for biblical reasons by just a mere 10%. And along linking arms with 3 other strategies to raise up a total of 531,000 new voters who will vote for the purpose of honoring Christ in the voting booth. They won't surrender their biblical values when they walk in there. 531,000 key selected individuals in 16 key states would change the course of the nation. We're asking it to be much more than mere political talk, that it be spiritual in the sense that the Holy Spirit so convict hearts, there be a spiritual awakening. So when we read the scriptures, go into all the world, it doesn't say go into all the world except the voting booth, or go into all the world except the bad word, politics. Pastors are not political, they're just being biblical. When they make biblical application of the scriptures, since God thought of government, he probably has something to say about how it ought to be run. Like not killing babies in the womb, for starters. Like honoring when he's talking about marriage, for starters. And so consequently, it's a very specific strategy. We encourage you to go to Project 75. Pastors, sign up for it, be a part of it. We'll hand out some cards in a moment if you want to be a part of it. A third thing I want you to be praying about is May the 7th. It's called Washington, a Man of Prayer. If you are a pastor of a small church, you may think you don't have much influence. The fact is, there's many pastors of small churches are having enormous influence. Chris Clark's church would not be considered a mega church. Chris Clark is one of the most influential pastors right here in all of Chattanooga County. Courageous, definitely, he pays a price for it. But when history writes about the people who impacted San Diego, Chris Clark's name needed to be in there at some point. He's impacted our county so much. There's a pastor of a tiny church. By tiny, I mean 30 people. In a tiny town. By tiny town, I mean Bullard, Texas, population 30. His name is Dan Cummins. I don't know if we have a picture of him. If it is, bring up Dan Cummins' picture. That's he and his wife, Joanne. He had a dream, a bizarre dream. For a guy who pastors 30 people in a town of 3,000, he went to Louis Gohmert, his congressman, and there got connected eventually with Speaker of the House, John Boehner. This, I'm making a very long story very short. Got permission to use Statuary Hall, the most sacred hall in the U.S. Capitol. The first time a private civilian citizen had permission to have religious service in there in 130 years. He started 3 years ago. He got the hall. He didn't know what to do with it. He called me. I hardly knew him. I'd only met him a few seconds. I didn't even take the call the first time because I get calls from all kinds of people. Some of them are kind of strange. And so I didn't even take the call. I didn't know if this guy was smoking something or what. And so others took it and they said, we think he's for real. I went back and talked to him. He said, Jim, I got this statuary hall. I don't know what to do. So we lined up the speakers. Had an incredible day. We thought it'd be our first and last time. That was 2 years ago in 2010. It went fabulous. Happened again last year. Happened again this year. The difference between these 3 years now, though, instead of congressmen inviting, this is one for congressmen and their staff. And instead of work so hard, now congressmen are calling us, wanting to come, wanting to pray. And there's a tremendous lineup. We have too many congressmen wanting to pray that we can pack in. The good, you can't go and you can't attend it because you got to be in Congress. Unless you're a congressman, you're not invited to it. However, you can watch it on Daystar Television, May the 7th, Wednesday night. It comes on at 6:30 Eastern Time. Now, at 7:30 Eastern Time, correction, 7:30 Eastern Time. You can go to that. Or if you want to live stream it, you can go to WorldNet Daily on your computer and you can watch it. Or we're urging churches to sign up. And so now churches are signing up in their Wednesday night services. Skyline will be one of those. It'll be shown in this auditorium. It'll start here at 6:30. It'll go from 6:30 to 8:30. You'll get to see exactly what is happening there May the 7th, Washington, the Man of Prayer. It's the 225th anniversary of the swearing in of George Washington, whereupon both houses of Congress and the Supreme Court walked to St. Paul's Chapel, and they knelt and they covenanted with God for America. And so we're simply honoring historically how our nation was founded. When Washington died, they found in his possession many, many prayers, quite a few. Peter Lillback's the brilliant scholar who wrote about this. And we have those prayers, and we're building it around George Washington's actual personal prayer life. So Washington, a man of prayer, is not just a cute phrase. It happens to be reality. Want to make sure you knew about those events, those taking place. We have cards we can hand out. Those of you that are pastors, or if you're not a pastor but you're interested in more information, just fill out one of these. Chris, can you make sure everybody has those? I'm not sure Ann Subia has them, I believe. Now let's bring up some others who are running for office right now. And again, I apologize in advance for being the bad guy because of time. I'm going to have to run us very, very rapidly. Those that are running for the 49th Congressional District, the State Board of Equalization, State Senate 38, these are the listings that I have, State Assembly 78, and Supreme Court Judge number 20, number 25, and State Superintendent of Public Instruction. Would you come right now? Would you come right? Those of you running for those offices, Chris will be our microphone man. We're going to introduce yourself. And now, Chris, this is where you get to be a bad guy twice over. I'm going to have you do some timing. But then just stand right across here, across the front, if you would, each one of you. You want to go first? Sure. Okay, you need to leave, okay, we'll go with you first, that's okay, not a problem. Let's come right over here, get on the microphone. And we're holding the 53rd till later, but one of the candidates needs to take off in just a moment.
Sorry to break up the routine.
And we're gonna kind of hold you to about 1 minute each, and my apology is...
I'll be brief, and my name is Joel Marchese. I'm running in the 53rd Congressional District. That includes Lemon Grove, La Mesa, Spring Valley, parts of San Diego, parts of Chula Vista. I am married. My wife and I just celebrated our 8th year of marriage. We have 2 lovely children, Natalie and Charlena. I am a Catholic. I used to be a Lutheran, but to get married to my wife, who was from Iraq, I had to become a Catholic, and I'm proud of it. And I was actually baptized twice in my lifetime because of that. So it's an honor to be in God's house today to share with you part of my life and why I'm running for Congress. The reason I'm running for Congress, frankly, I'm appalled at what's happening to our country. And I'm very concerned as a parent, as a teacher, as a husband. And we need to step forward, all of us, in some way, shape, or form, to correct the measures that have been brought against our country and put us back on the right track. My campaign is about jobs, freedom, and prosperity. Those are the campaign issues I bring forward, and I ask you for your support. And I'm happy to be here today to share that with you. And again, I'm Joel Marchese, running for the 53rd Congressional District. It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
We're going to need to hold it to one minute. I'm so sorry. Go right ahead, ma'am.
I can talk fast. My name's Barbara Decker. I'm running in the Assembly District 78 against Tony Atkins. I'm on the Atkins diet. This area goes all the way from Solana Beach down to Imperial Beach, and I just want to say I'm only one, but I am one. I can't do everything, but I can do something. And I won't let what I can do keep me from doing what I can do. Thank you.
Barbara Decker, you did that in 24 seconds. And by the way, Barbara, my 93-year-old mother, who's seated right here, called me late last night and says, now that Barbara Decker is my friend, you give her more time than 1 minute. And here you went did it in 24 seconds. Okay.
Hi, I'm Kevin Melton. I'm the Republican candidate from the 78th District, running against Barbara and Tony Atkins. I live downtown, so I tend not to get out this direction, but I'm going to start coming out more because of church. I'm originally from Rancho Palos Verdes. I've been back in San Diego for 8 years. I went to San Diego State. My platform is taxes, children, and seniors. I used to be the publisher of Senior Life magazine. We got rid of that in 2004, but they continued as Life After 50. So I'm looking to help seniors, education, and children. I'm Kevin Melton, 78th District, so if you don't live in that area, please tell your friends that I'm running in the 78th District. Thank you.
Very good. You modeled well for us on how to keep it in that time frame. Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you. My name is Carla Keene, and I'd like to share with you why I'm the best candidate for San Diego Superior Court seat number 20. I believe public service is a privilege, not an entitlement. And I have lived a life of service and accountability. I'm an honors graduate of Princeton University and UC Hastings College of Law. I served as an Army captain and then stayed in the Army and served during the Los Angeles riots, protecting Los Angeles. For the last 18 years, I've served as a federal prosecutor, protecting San Diego from human trafficking and crimes against children. I believe that nobody is above the law, including judges. My opponent, Judge Lisa Shaw, was arrested for driving drunk down a 4-lane divided highway, and she's been cited on multiple occasions by the Commission on Judicial Performance for ethical violations. I ask for your vote for integrity, accountability, and service. Carla Keene, the H is silent. Thank you for your vote.
And that's what the position again is, and you
Yes,
gave the
sir.
number.
Yes, sir. The position is San Diego Superior Court, seat 20. My friend Ken Gosman is seat number 25. We're different races, and everybody in this county can vote, from the Mexican border to the Orange County line to the Imperial County line to the ocean. Everybody who's a resident of San Diego County, please go vote. My biggest opponent is actually apathy. Thank you.
What's your position? We asked them to see. I know are you running nonpartisan?
Yes, sir. As my good friend Mr. Gosman will confirm, the judicial races are nonpartisan, and by the judicial canon of ethics. We are not allowed to take particular stances that your other elected officials can state. It's all we can say, and what I firmly believe, the law must be predictable. I'm not a judicial activist, and I believe that the law and the Constitution is to be followed.
Well, thank you for that. This is not your fault. We believe that putting a muzzle on candidates running is an unfortunate thing for the citizenry, and it's unfortunate you're not allowed ethically to speak out on these issues. Yes, sir.
My name is Ken Goslin. I recognize a lot of faces out there. It's nice to see you again. I'm a candidate for Superior Court Judge, seat 25 in a county-wide election starting June 3rd. For the last 3/4 of a decade, I've been San Diego County's only full-time Superior Court Judge pro tem. As a pro tem judge, I'm the one other judges call when they need personal time off, and I have been a judge in thousands of criminal and civil court cases, and I have been appealed successfully in only 3 known cases that in that entire time, most of the time, I get it right. For the last 3 years, I've been assigned to the Minor Offense Division in San Diego County. I am a traffic judge for those of you who recognize me personally and professionally. And I hope if you do, your experience was a positive one. I've been endorsed by the San Diego County Republican Party, the California Republican Assembly. I'd like to add a few more conservative Christians to that list. Thank you very much. My name is Ken Goslin.
Wow, you modeled for us. You had 5 seconds yet to go, sir. What church are you part of? What fellowship are you part of?
I belong to the San Luis Rey Mission Catholic Church. I've been a Catholic since that big, I think. Sometimes St. Mark's. I go to St. Mark's in San Luis.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. All other candidates, I'm just going to, instead of naming all of them, all other candidates, would you just step up here right now? All other candidates, thank you so much for coming. We recognize how enormously challenging your schedules are. Just stand right across the front here, facing them. We'll squeeze you all in. I have this unenviable position of putting you all on 1 minute, and as a preacher, I understand how frustrating that would be. So let's just start right here, Mayor Wells, with you, and let's go across, and we'll punch the little clock here and go for it, my friend.
My name is Bill Wells. I am the mayor of El Cajon. We talked a lot about the problems with the different philosophies, and I'm a Republican. In fact, I got the Republican elected official of the year last year in San Diego County. If you look at El Cajon, we are a conservative council with a conservative mayor, and because of that, we've got a balanced budget. We've enacted pension reform. We have a $20 million reserve. We've seen crime go down 39% in the last 10 years. We became a charter city, and we got rid of red light cameras. Amen to that. Conservative values works, and we want to continue moving along that direction. And I'm running again for mayor.
Thank you. You had plenty of time left, sir, but okay, we'll go to the next one.
I'm Wayne True. I'm a family doc in La Mesa. I work with Sharp Reese Steely. I came to know the Lord when I was about 4 years old. I went forward to dedicate my life to missionary service when I was 9. I've had a few years on the mission field, and I've been a doc here in San Diego now for 25 years here. Married for 30 years, 3 kids, all in ministry. I am pleased to be able to represent our congressional district, and I have grave concerns about the directions our government has gone, particularly in healthcare. I find it becoming increasingly difficult for me to provide the kind of care that our patients deserve. So for example, I'm told not to screen for prostate cancer because 1/3 of all men are going to have it anyway. Only 3% die from it. We're told not to do pap smears more than every 5 years now, even in women who are at the highest risk category. We're penalized as physicians if we do so. There's dozens more areas of concern that I've got about our healthcare direction that we're taking. And so I would like to be your representative from the 53rd District in Congress, and we can work on fixing healthcare.
Bill, I'm going to let you slip down. Are the other candidates for the 53rd, are you also here, Jim and Joel? Going to have you come over beside him. You go ahead and step here for a moment, Wayne, if you would. Just for a second before you leave. On the 53rd, Wayne, tell us exactly where the parameters of the 53rd are, if you would.
Okay, if you remember from Joel Marchese, he was telling you that it goes from the western side of El Cajon all the way down to Mission Hills. It goes about 2 miles north of Navajo Road. It goes all the way down to the 905 Expressway in the South Bay. So East Lake areas, much of Chula Vista, Bonita, Lemon Grove, all of those areas are in the 53rd.
Thank you for repeating that for us. Okay, let's have the next candidate, Jim.
I'm Jim Sturringer, one of the 8 candidates for the 53rd Congressional District. I've been elected to local office 7 times. I was elected Mesa City Treasurer, 5 times Grossmont Healthcare District, and I currently serve on the Grossmont Union High School District Board. A freshman congressman, which we all hope to be, is sometimes called a backbencher, and I've had plenty of practice. Usually on Sundays I'm sitting up in the stadium seats there and getting a lot of practice being a backbencher.
Okay. Thank you, Jim. Okay. Okay, not a problem. You're also running for the 53rd?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Good morning, folks. My name is Larry Wilski. I'm also running for the 53rd Congressional District. First, thank you for having me here. My background is very simple. I grew up in the 53rd Congressional District from going to kindergarten and first grade in La Mesa to elementary school, high school, and college in Sierra Mesa, Mission Village, and Linda Vista. I know the area very, very well. I've also lived in the area for 30 years while in service of my country. I spent the last 30 years in the Navy, and I retired as a Master Chief out of the Navy SEAL teams. I understand a purpose-driven life. As a Christian, I fully understand God has intentions for all of us. I've gotten 65 breaks and bones, 16 surgeries, 2 fake body parts, been blown up 5 times, and I'm very convinced when God's done with me, he'll take me. So this job is the next purpose in service. And folks, as everybody here knows, and all the candidates right on for being here, leaders are servants. Servants are humble. Humility and kindness are the bedrock of courage that we need forward in Washington. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry we did not have your name. We're trying to keep up with all the names here. Okay, you're also running for the, are we done with the 53rd, or are we also, okay. You're running for what?
Good morning, thank you. My name is George Mantor. I am running for Assessor, Recorder, County Clerk.
Let me break it for a second. I would like to have the candidates together in that area. Who else is running for that particular position? I believe, is everybody else running for this particular position? We have Ernie is. Ernie was scheduled to be here. Ernie Dronenberg, are you here? Okay, go right ahead.
The reason that I'm actually seeking this office is that I have been in the real estate business for 35 years. About 8 years ago, I was contacted by a former client who said, George, they're foreclosing on us, and we haven't missed any payments, and we can't stop them. And this turned out to be an epidemic. You may have heard that there have been billions of dollars paid out by banks in settlements to people whose homes have been illegally foreclosed on. This would not happen if the county recorder's office refused to accept for recording documents that are obviously forged and falsely notarized. And this is occurring in every county across the United States. The result of this is that our land title records are no longer reliable and transparent. I'm not going to ask you to vote for me. I'm going to ask you to do something else instead. Go to my website, No Dirty Deeds, No Dirty Deeds, and just find out what I'm about, what the issue's about, and then compare me to the other candidates. I believe at that point you will agree that I'm the best qualified candidate to take on this problem.
Thank you so much, okay? And you are running for?
El Cajon Mayor.
Okay, go ahead, Ben.
My name is Ben Colascio. I'm the president of the Chaldean American Chamber of Commerce, and I'm running for El Cajon Mayor. It's a nonpartisan race. The median household income in El Cajon is $43,000. Our neighbors, La Mesa, $51,000. Santee, $65,000. 26% of the population lives below the poverty line. 34% of those are children. When we look at that and we try to analyze what's going on here, and we listen to people like Marnie Cox, who's the chief economist at Sandag, we know that the local economy is driven by the local government. And El Cajon is not responding well to coming out of the recession as well as other cities. And so a vote for me is a vote for strengthening jobs, taking care of the poor, and making sure that El Cajon residents are safe. Thank you so much. My name is Ben Colascio.
Okay, next in line, just tell me the office you're running for, because we'd like to cluster you if there's others in that same office.
Okay, I'm Mike Benoit, and I'm running for Congress in the 50th District.
50th? Any others from the 50th District? Okay, go right ahead, my friend.
Listening to the preachers earlier discuss welfare and they went into great detail as to whether it was good or bad. And you missed a key point. The key point is taking money from somebody and giving it to somebody else is theft. And you'll find that most of the problems that we have today in society are due to the fact that we have a gargantuan government that takes the fruits of our labor and redistributes it. Now, there's a book I have out in front. It's Frederick Bastiat's book, The Law. It shows the principles of the Bible as applied to government. If you haven't read it, I'm going to stay out there for a while when we're done. Come by and get a copy. And it shows these principles when you apply them to government, that government will be small and won't be violating us like it's been violating us. And the root of our problem, really, folks, is this philosophy of theft.
Thank you so much. You're doing an excellent job of staying within your time frame, and I know how unbelievably difficult that is, so thank you for doing that. Okay, you're running for what office?
Good morning, Tony Villafranca. I'm running for San Diego City Council, District 4.
Is there anyone else running for that particular office as well? Okay, go ahead.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Tony Villafranca. I'm running for San Diego City Council of District 4. That's the southeastern community of San Diego. The main zip codes would be 92139 and 92114. Everything south of Freeway 94, north of Freeway 54, east of 805, and west of 125. I was born in Virginia and raised here in San Diego County. My father was in the United States Navy. He served in Korea, Vietnam, and my mother is a retired RN in convalescence. She served this community in convalescence. What I do for work is I'm a 20-year professional in real estate. But that's not what I'm most proud of. I'm most proud of my volunteerism. I volunteered with the San Diego County District Attorney's Office, the San Diego County Superior Court System, and the San Diego County Sheriff's Department. And I'm just here today. I had a whole speech planned, but by the time I got to it, you know it is. But I'm a lifelong Catholic and Christian, and I look to practice those values. And one thing I do remember is that I do want to say is, speaking of George Washington, I think there was something that was attributed or misquoted to George Washington, and that was, it is impossible to rightly govern without God and the Bible. And I'm not here to rewrite the Bible.
Thank you so much. You're running for what position?
Chula Vista City Council, seat
Anybody
number
else
2.
for that one? Go right ahead, sir.
Hi, good morning, and thanks for having us. My name is Hector Castello. I was born here in San Diego at Mercy Hospital. I was raised in Tijuana, and this is actually my second language. I'm very thankful for the opportunity to be here and to be involved in politics, because it's brought me closer to my Catholic faith. I was born Christmas. My mom wanted to name me Jesus. That would make my race a lot easier, because who would vote against Jesus? I have my father's name, and I try to honor my father through service. I'm a board member of the Rotary Club in Coronado, and I believe in service, and that's why I'm running. I would be, right now, Chula Vista has 4 Democrats and not a single Republican. I believe that we enrich our democracy when we have a 2-party system. And that's why I'm running in Chula Vista. My name is Hector Castello. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You are running for what position?
My name is Vaughn Jefferson. I'm running for the San Diego Community College District.
Wonderful. Anybody else running for that position? Okay, go right ahead.
It's not a high-profile race, but it is on June 3rd. It includes 5 communities. That's Golden Hills, Downtown, City Heights, Logan Heights, and the North Park area. Issues are training teachers and tuition, trying to keep that affordable for our students. It is a nonpartisan seat.
Wonderful. Thank you. You really know how to keep under the time limit. Way to go. Okay. We'll test you. You're running for what position?
I'm running for State Senate 38 against Joel Anderson.
Anybody else here running for that?
No, it's just Joel and I, and
Okay.
we're going to dance twice this year.
Good.
So the reason I decided to run was last March 21st, when the CPUC had the meeting about the Santee Power Plant, and Joel was the only politician
that did not object or fight against it. A lot of people testified and sent letters. I decided to run. I investigated him and I researched him, that's a better word, and I found out that he doesn't really deal with a lot of people in his area, which is 986,000 population, more than a congressional district. I'm an immigrant from Greece, 37 years. I've been married 29 years. I'm a member of my church for 29 years and 4 before that. I keep my religious beliefs away from my practical stuff. I am a registered Democrat because I think we may have 60% of the answers. Republicans may have 20% and independents another 20%. I want to make the field of opportunity level for everyone because I don't think it is. If you want to go on my site and check my issues, I have specific issues and how to do them. I don't talk hot words. Thank you.
Frank, thank you so much. I so want to ask you a question, but I'll refrain for the sake, well, I can't for the sake of time, but my question would be to any candidate, why would your religious values be so unimportant that you would remove them from your public policy issues?
I believe in separation of church and state, and I don't want to impose my beliefs on someone else. I come from a church that made an evangelical church look like a liberal church, just so we're...
I so want to talk with you, but I'm going to end the mess right now. I so want to visit with you. We'll look forward to another time. Okay, you're running for what position? 40 Congressional 49th District. Anyone else? I presume no one else. Okay, go right ahead, sir.
My name is Nobori Sagawa. I born in Okinawa, 1950, and after World War II, refugee camp, I represent the nursing home, homeless, children. I always pray. Today, the number one issue is the United States government deficit, 17 trillion. So how can we solution the deficit? Today, the GDP is worldwide 70 trillion. Then each country is 2% investment in the United States. Each year, 1.4 trillion. Then we have create each year maybe time. So, your name is what? Nobori Sagawa. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, okay.
I want to thank you all as candidates. It really it takes tremendous courage to do what you do. An enormous sacrifice. You're part of your spouses, your children. And so thank you for being here. And thank you for the courage for what you're doing.